Hello to my patrons and the people who waited a year. This is the dump a 2 liter of soda on my head episode, and I probably don't even need to get a thumbnail here, but if you want one, here's the soda. Here you go. I'm gonna dump this on my head. Yeah, I'm probably not even getting a thumbnail from this part. But, there it is. If that helps you enjoy content. Yeah! Alright, let's dump a 2 liter of soda over my head at a time when that's probably not advisable by my doctors. Anyway, I don't even know how to start one about soda. What are some famous things about soda? Do the do! And by the do, I mean dump soda on your head. This is what the show is. This is what the show is forever. This is where the theme song goes. Everything's fine, don't worry about it. I'm a professional. I stole that from Bill and Ted. You're listening to Fix My Carcast, hosted by Bear Claw Billy, and this is episode 149. Comedian and musician Keith Hebert lost the taste test, so we'll be introducing new Keith Hebert shortly. But first, housekeeping. This is the show where you pick what I say and how I say it. Pick a topic or prompt by donating to the GoFundMe, and vote on the gimmick by joining my Patreon for just $1 a month. Just $1 a month! Wow! You have so much control. Join at the $5 or higher level and also get bonus episodes and behind-the-scenes footage. Links are in the description. Also down there, merch. Get yourself some merch. Hey, you know what? You need some... Actually, I do sell a shirt for a fake soda, I just realized. I do sell an Explosion Juice shirt, which is from my show Hell of Thrones. Has nothing to do with Fix My Carcast, but you know what? Get a Fix My Carcast shirt while you're down there. Get an Explosion Juice, get a Fix My Carcast, get all that good stuff, and send the money to me. By the way, when you get merch, I get like maybe $1, so, don't lose any sleep over it. But, get that merch if you like that merch. Get the merch if you want the merch. Get the merch if you want the merch. No new donors this week. The total raised for paying off my car repair debt is still holding at $2,327. Also, when we get to $3,000, it unlocks an automatic show gimmick, which is I will record an episode at sea. Fun fact, did you know that this whole podcast disappears when we hit $10,000? Send it the way of Crystal Pepsi. Hey, do you like the theme song? No? Well, if you make a donation of $50 or more, in addition to picking an episode topic, you get to change one thing about the theme song forever. Unless somebody else changes it back. Want me to make it sound like the I'd like to buy the world a Coke jingle? I'll do it. $50. Also, if you would like to own the painting I made in episode 118, I'll be giving it away to the next person who donates $100 or more. That's right, own a piece of Fix My Carcast history while you still can. If you'd like to see the painting before you buy it, it can be viewed in the raw video version of episode 118 over on Patreon. Link in the description. And yes, the painting is in the room with us. No new patrons this week, bummer. Now it's time for a topic suggestion. I'll suggest topics I think I could easily talk about for a whole episode, though admittedly I think the show is more fun when it's something I'm completely clueless about. So, something I could talk about is my favorite soda. Yeah, honestly, I'm kind of a soda fanatic. Want to know more? Donate today. Checking in on the best city in the world based on which city listened to the last episode the most. And our big winner is Portland, Maine. Congratulations, Portland, Maine. Let it be known that your Fox Theater, Centennial Olympic Park, and National Center for Civil and Human Rights are the best in the world for 7 days. Last episode, I talked about the Lorde song Perfect Places while bleeping every F word in post. Almost every. I fucked up. You can see video of all the raw footage, plus a little extra, minus the bleeps, over on Patreon. What F words was I really saying? Also, head over to Patreon for a bonus episode where I talk about the Lord's song Perfect Places after actually listening to it. It ain't a bad jam. Okay, let's talk next week's gimmick poll. These are your choices for next week's episode gimmick. They are: invite my 3-year-old niece on the show, draw a whale, do a silly dance, and our returning gimmick, shotgun 4 beers if the last episode got 44 downloads. Never gonna happen, but let's go. Let's review. Number 1, invite my 3-year-old niece on the show. Now you might be saying, hey Billy, this is a repeat gimmick. You already invited your niece on the show. I invited my 2-year-old niece on the show almost exactly 1 year ago today. This time I'm inviting my 3-year-old niece on the show. It's different. Number 2, draw a whale. There's this aquatic animal called a whale. Ever heard of him? Well, if not, I'm going to show you what one looks like. I'll draw a whale if that one wins. Number 3, do a silly dance. Now, silly is objective, but I will definitely do a dance, and I will try to inject the maximum amount of silliness into it. And our returning gimmick number 4, from way back in the day, you know him, you love him. It's one of the old shotgun a beer ones. Shotgun 4 beers if the last episode got 44 downloads. Now, at this present moment in the space-time continuum, I'm talking about this episode that you're listening to right now. So if the episode you're listening to right now has 44 downloads, by the time the poll closes, I will shotgun 4 beers if that gimmick wins. However, if it has not gotten to 44 downloads, then there is no gimmick. So that's the gamble you're taking. If you vote for that one, for something that is not going to happen in a week. I do have episodes with over 44 downloads, but none of them have gotten that many in a week. So, a little peek behind the curtain for you. So, pick the one you like, all right? Remember that any gimmick that gets just a single vote is eligible for a second chance in 6 weeks. Be sure to vote over on Patreon. The poll closes Thursday, November 14th at noon Eastern America time. All right, time for today's gimmick, which is dump a 2-liter of soda over my head. Of course, gimmicks don't start until housekeeping is out of the way in case any of them prevent me from sharing vital information. But now, we are entering the Gimmick Zone. From this point on, gimmicks are active and everything is improvised. There's no sponsored topic for today's episode, so I'll take inspiration from a randomized Wikipedia page, which is... that's an athlete. It's like a tiny town in Canada. Sports stats. Here we go. Okay, high-speed photography is the subject of today's episode. Now, if I sound a little different, you may have noticed that is because I have moved into my bathroom. I am in the shower and I am naked, which I'm going to point out, both of those were gimmicks in previous episodes. So you're getting a 3-fer for today. You're getting soda, you're getting naked, and you're getting in a shower. I won't be running the water in the shower. Also, I hope you'll forgive the sound quality. I can't afford to wreck a phone or an iPad or a microphone, so I've taped the microphone up to the shower. Again, my apologies if the sound is not the best. But as always, the point of this show is that I have no money, so how would it look if I suddenly had a soda dumping chamber? I realize I could have just, laid down on the lawn and poured it directly into my face, but I don't particularly feel like getting waterboarded. Also, I'm not sure when to dump the soda. I don't know if anyone has any particular preferences about that, but I do have a 2-liter of, I could make you spend a little extra money to see what kind of soda it is, but why? Why would you spend money on that? Why would you care about finding out what soda I'm dumping on my head? All that matters is that it's fizzy and it is upon my head.
So our topic, high-speed photography. Nice long article. I am so excited that we're talking about high-speed photography today. For every young budding nerd, the first thing that I think of is the fact that it's high speed. The science of taking pictures is a very fast phenomenon. And see, it's funny because my brain always thinks, but it's slow motion. But technically, yes, it is high-speed photography because what is happening very fast, and it's getting a lot of sequences at once. There's, of course, Muybridge's sequence of a racehorse galloping, which you may be familiar with whether or not you've seen the movie Nope, but a prominent plot point in the movie Nope. This is fascinating. The first practical application of high-speed photography was indeed Edward Muybridge's 1878 investigation into whether horses' feet were actually all off the ground at once during a gallop. And also the first photograph of a supersonic flying bullet was taken by Austrian physicist Peter Salker in Rijeka in 1886. German weapons scientists applied the techniques in 1916. I hope things ended badly for them. Bell Telephone Laboratories was one of the first customers for a camera developed by Eastman Kodak. No, this is just stuff about regular, normal cameras. I don't know. Anyway, speaking of cameras, I'm speaking into one right now. And if it's all right with you, I don't have any particular timing on when it's time to dump the soda. That is not anything that I planned ahead. I wasn't like, well, save it for the end. Do it right up front so everyone can see it. I didn't really know if there was a best time to dump it. So I think I'll just get that done right now because that's the risky part. And if we get the risky part done now, who cares about the rest? And then you get to listen to a soaked me talk about high-speed photography. And that's what you want. I'm not going to lie, I am kicking myself that I can't change the camera settings when I've already started recording. But as you know, a big deal with this show is I don't edit and I don't go back, except maybe if I'm about to pop into the shower naked, then maybe I put in like one edit. I hope you can hear me. I hope you can see me. I have the curtain closed. I can't risk getting my iPad wrecked, so I am putting it behind the shower curtain while I commence the soda dump. I don't know what I can tell you about high-speed photography while I do it because I can't see any of the facts about high-speed photography. I remember the first time I heard a reference to high-speed photography. I am hoisting a 2-liter of Coca-Cola Zero Sugar over my head. So the first time I think that I heard about high-speed photography was actually from an episode of Mythbusters. I think they were doing something with ballistics. I'm not quite sure, but they mentioned, hey, let's take a look at it on the high-speed camera, which I think is the most effective way to really fully understand the physics of something that you are observing. And of course, I've learned quite a lot about life from the show Mythbusters, as evidenced by the way I conduct my daily life. So hey, let's learn a little bit more about high-speed photography, because again, I don't know a ton about it. I hope you'll excuse me if I run the water a little bit here. Oh, there we go. No part of the gimmick involved then taking a subsequent shower, but for my own personal health and safety reasons, I don't want to stand in a puddle of Coke Zero. So let's get this part of the situation sorted. I'm not gonna lie, I really did not want to turn on the shower head itself. But here we are. I'm still dripping with Coke Zero, and my life is Coke 100. Wait, that sounds like I do cocaine, and I definitely don't, and I don't endorse it, and nothing good ever came from doing cocaine. That's the Fix My Car Cast guarantee. But let's quickly get back to high-speed photography. I am doused with beverage. It's a real shame. I'm not gonna lie, recording that in high speed, I don't think would have made it that much more impressive. But you know what was impressive? Segue. Stroboscopy and laser applications. What? You can use lasers to take pictures? I never knew. Well, Harold Edgerton is credited with pioneering the use of the stroboscope to freeze fast motion. He founded EG&G, which used some of Edgerton's methods to capture the physics of explosions required to detonate nuclear weapons. One such device was the EG&G Microflash 549, which is an air gap flash. I have no idea what that is, and I can't tell you anything about it, but look it up on your own. All right, let's take a look at some high-speed film cameras. There's different types. There's the intermittent motion cameras, which are a speed-up version of the standard motion picture camera using a sewing machine type mechanism. That's cool. I love when people look at like one kind of machine and go, wait a minute, we could use that for another kind of machine. I smell as sweet as I am. Oh my goodness. All right. Then there's rotating prism cameras, which run the film continuously past an exposure point and use a rotating prism between the objective lens and the film to impart motion to the image, which matches the film motion. There are rotating mirror cameras, which relay the image through a rotating mirror to an arc of film. Image dissection cameras, which can use a rotating mirror system. Okay, then what makes that different? And raster cameras, which record a chopped up version of an image. And then, folks, I got to be completely honest. The article devolves into, oh my gosh. The article devolves into stuff that is too complicated for me. Intermittent pin registers. Yeah, no, we're officially beyond my level of expertise, my area of education, and anything that I understand about high-speed photography. Yeah, rotary prisms. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. Well, let's see. I can talk about some of my favorite slow motion shots that I've ever seen. And I don't know why, but the one that's coming to mind right now is one from a really bad Leslie Nielsen movie where he like kicks a guy in the head or something in slow motion. Why am I completely blanking on iconic slow motion shots in cinema? Oh, there's Platoon. Yeah, he falls on his knees. He's got his arms up. There's a great one. And that's it. Those are all the slow motion scenes in cinema. The technique has only been used twice. I can't think of a single other one. Okay, I'm gonna poke through the article a little more and see if there's anything more interesting to tell you. I got to be real honest. It doesn't take very long to dump a 2 liter of soda over your head. So, kind of just vamping in place. Raster cameras. Okay, streak photography. Okay, now I'm curious. Streak photography. Does that have anything to do with when someone takes it? No, it has absolutely nothing to do with it. But, you know, for a second I was like, oh, streak photography. Like when someone takes a picture of a crowded highway, but all the headlights come out as like long streaky lines. No, it has nothing to do with that. It uses a streak camera. Okay. This is where we get into tough stuff where it's like, you know, oh, there's 5 kinds of running. There's standard, blue, Mexican, and then it's like, okay, tell me about them. Well, standard running uses a standard style. Blue running uses a blue style. Mexican running uses a Mexican style. I feel like that's a lot of what this article is. It's like laser photography uses a laser. Streak photography uses a streak. And it's like, okay, how does that explain it to me? Yeah, no, we're beyond what my brain can comprehend. We're talking lenticular sheets, opaque slits, arrays of tapered Cellfox fiber optics, baby. Oh, high speed me good. High speed photographs can be examined individually to follow the progress of an activity, or then can be displayed rapidly in sequence as a moving film with slowed down motion. Early video cameras using tubes, such as the VidCon, suffered from severe ghosting. Yeah, those poor VidCons, they just couldn't lock somebody down, you know? Folks, I am dripping Coca-Cola onto the iPad screen. How wonderful. I knew this one was going to create some problems for me. But so far, so good. The introduction of the CCD revolutionized high-speed photography. In the 1980s, the staring array configuration of the sensor eliminated the scanning artifacts. Oh boy, well, I've got a lot to work with, but I don't understand a whole bunch of it. Microchannel plate, MCP image intensifiers, developed in the early 1990s. Apparently, we've just been getting better and better and better at this, and now we have the IS-CCD. Another approach for capturing images at extremely high speeds with an ISIS in situ storage CCD chip. And then there's a rotating mirror CCD and a CMOS, which I know about because of Captain Disillusion and not much else. CMOS is, it says revolutionized in the 1990s, and then infrared, high-speed infrared photography has become possible with the introduction of the Amber Radiance and later the Indigo Phoenix. Thank you, Amber Radiance and Indigo Phoenix, for your contributions to the high-speed photography arts. Amber was purchased by Raytheon. Who's Raytheon? Why do I feel like I don't like that name? It's a bad name. It's a bad word. Moving on. It's a bad name. It's a bad word. Okay. See also 16 millimeter film, 35 millimeter film, 70 millimeter film, air gap flash, Fastax, which is a high-speed camera, femto photography. Don't know what that is. Harold Eugene Edgerton. Thank you, Harold Eugene Edgerton. High-speed camera, nature photography, the Photron, fast cam high-speed camera, slow motion, less advanced than high-speed photography. Okay, folks, I've learned something here today. They are not interchangeable. Are you high-speed or slow motion? Less advanced than high-speed photography, slow motion, commonly abbreviated as slow-mo or slow-mo, is an effect in filmmaking whereby time appears to be slowed down. Now wait a goddamn minute. How is this different from high-speed photography? The traditional method for achieving super slow motion is through high-speed photography. Ha! They're not opposites. One is a version of the other. High-speed photography is a technique for achieving a slow motion effect. High-speed photography goes under the umbrella of slow motion, not unlike how non-binary or gender fluid is under the non-binary umbrella, which is under the trans umbrella, which is under the queer umbrella, etc., etc. A type. It's a whole not all rectangles are squares, but all squares are rectangles type deal, I think. And that brings us to the end of the article. So I am sticky and wet, and I don't like it. So I think I'll stitch all this together, and I think we've had a wonderful day learning about high-speed photography today. And, maybe in the future I'll make that a gimmick. I will shoot an episode with high-speed photography. But for now, I'm going to get the iPad most decidedly out of the shower. I'm going to safely and securely close the curtain, and I think I'm going to bid you a good day because I would really like to get the rest of this icky soda off of me. So, as always, go fast, but get it on camera. This is horrible. This is horrible. This is horrible. It's like the actual sensation of the pouring was not so bad, but the feeling of the sticky grossness on me is terrible. And I was trying to avoid standing in a puddle of it, and I succeeded for the most part, but I did not enjoy any of this. That's not true. The thing is I think my brain was expecting floosh. And instead what I got was so it was like just kind of a little trickle. It's time to clean out the shower and let my roommate use the bathroom.